almost got my vaccine today, you know. I mean, कल गया, परसों गया, उसके पहले गया. Every day they are like, नहीं नहीं आज डोज नहीं है, नहीं नहीं आज डोज नहीं है, नहीं
तो
नहीं
आज
आज डोज नहीं
फाइनली
है.
हो गया.
I thought आज finally होगा करके, but they are like, नहीं हम लोग 3 दिन में एक बार करते हैं.
अरे रे 18 to 44 वाला.
हाँ,
group.
18 plus, yeah. So did you get your vaccine yet?
Yeah, I got my first dose like 2 weeks ago.
Nice. How was the experience?
First day was pretty good. I was feeling like मेरे को कुछ नहीं होगा कभी भी. And then second day I was on bed.
Oops.
Completely in like body pain and all of those. वो हुआ and then third day I was fine. I was pretty good. Was good.
Cools.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Vinayak and welcome back to Beyond Pixels. Thank you for joining in. And आज का मौसम बहुत ही सुहाना है. बाहर बारिश हो रही है. And यहाँ मेरे सामने मेरा दोस्त है अनिरुद्ध.
हाँ, और हमने पकोड़े नहीं बनाए आज.
हाँ, चाय भी नहीं.
हाँ,
But sadly, that's okay, that's fine.
it's fine.
जैसे कि हमने लास्ट एपिसोड में बात किया, we were talking about motivation.
हाँ.
And you said that you kind of lost your motivation during the lockdown. I mean, this pandemic when it started and all of those. So, my first question to you. Do you like outdoor photography or indoors?
I like to go and shoot outside, you know. I am an outdoorsy person. I'm an introvert by nature, but I still like to go outside. I like to walk. I like to take pictures there. So when this pandemic started and the lockdown started, my motivation was already at an all-time low. I was not doing photography. I took a break from it. And you know, lockdown started and it was the nail in the coffin. That is the time when I actually stopped thinking about it.
Okay, so as you said that you are an outdoor photographer. So which genres do you follow?
I like to take pictures of people, basically. This style of photography I came to learn is called documentary.
Okay.
It's used by, you know, it's used for documentary and it is also used in photojournalism. So you shoot what's in front of you as it is, and you make it as real as possible.
Okay, so
That is my main, yeah.
Okay, so first I thought when you said that you do outdoor photography and then you capture people and all of those. But before I thought ki you would say street photography.
The only difference between street and documentary is the place where it actually goes to, the final output, I mean.
So what was the most depressing point for you during the lockdown?
I mean, not being able to go outside basically is the biggest thing.
Did you get affected by COVID?
No, fortunately, I don't live in an apartment, and my family members were not affected by it. I did fall ill in between, but it was not COVID.
Okay.
So I'm fortunate in that matter.
That you're lucky.
And I was safe. I didn't go outside.
But मेरा ऐसा नहीं है. During the October, मेरे family में COVID हुआ. Like me, my mom, dad. Basically, it started from me. And
You had COVID?
Yeah, it's basically I thought कि मुझे नहीं है. But like it lasted around a week. And after that, I was kind of okay. But after that, मेरी mom को हुआ. And it was basically, it started from diarrhea. देन हम डॉक्टर के पास गए. डॉक्टर ने ट्रीटमेंट किया. 1-2 दिन हॉस्पिटल में रखा. देन सडनली डॉक्टर सेड कि एक बार टेस्ट करके देखते, क्योंकि डायरिया इज़ अ सिम्टम ऑफ कोविड. तो एट लास्ट मॉम को पॉजिटिव आया. देन फिर मेरा और डैड का भी हुआ. एंटीजन टेस्ट किया. डैड का पॉजिटिव आया, मेरा नेगेटिव आया. बिकॉज लाइक आफ्टर लाइक इट वाज लाइक 2 हफ्ते हो चुके थे शायद उस चीज़ को. तो वो मेरे अंदर से चला गया था. मेरे एंटीबॉडीज बन चुके थे एंड ब्ला ब्ला स्टफ लाइक दैट.
बराबर, हाँ.
सो इट डिडंट अफेक्ट मी, बट इट डिड अफेक्ट माई मॉम एंड डैड अ लिटिल. डैड को भी कुछ सिम्टम्स था नहीं, तो इट वाज लाइक असिम्टोमेटिक काइंड ऑफ, बट मॉम को थोड़ा बहुत था.
Yeah, it is asymptomatic.
Yeah, तो
How did you recover from it after it happened? How did you get it? Like,
फर्स्ट आई थॉट कि लाइक कि भाई वो बोलते हैं ना, जान बची तो लाखों पाए. तो इट्स लाइक दैट थिंग केम इनटू माय माइंड कि लाइक अब हो गया है, अब ज़्यादा मस्ती नहीं करना है.
it was an eye opener.
या परफेक्टली राइट. सो उसके बाद इट टुक मी अराउंड लाइक 4 weeks उस चीज़ से बाहर निकलने को कम्प्लीटली. एंड दैट मोमेंट की मॉम का इतना तबीयत ख़राब है कि मॉम खड़ी भी नहीं हो पा रही थी ठीक से. इतना वीकनेस एंड वो सब जो भी होता है, तो वो देख देख के बहुत हालत ख़राब हो रही थी. तो somehow again I started clicking photos, but this time, and it was a month of November, I guess, and that was the point when Instagram came up with the process of reels.
I think it has been happening like it has been like a continuous process. अभी एक महीने में सीधा उन्होंने ऐसे इंट्रोड्यूस नहीं किया, बट उनका जो एल्गोरिदम था, रील्स से पहले आईजीटीवी आया ना.
हाँ, रील्स से पहले आईजीटी भी आया बराबर,
So
बट
they start. I think
रील्स वाज समथिंग दैट पीपल फाउंड कि बहुत इजी है एंड बहुत एंगेजिंग है.
because TikTok got banned.
हाँ, इसीलिए तो सब जो टिकटॉक वाले थे सब रील्स पे शिफ्ट हो गए, एंड इट वेंट लाइक वेरी बैड फॉर मी. एंड एल्गोरिदम्स चेंज हो गए, लाइक्स नहीं, कुछ नहीं, ऑडियंस के साथ एंगेजमेंट कम हो गया. And that is the reason why I started Phototales. I started this because I thought that Instagram का algorithm change हो गया है, photographers को engagement कम हो रहा है. I wanted people to know the stories that photographers have behind their photos. So इसीलिए मैंने ये magazine चालू किया. And you can also go and check out our website, that is phototalesmag.com.
That is how you cope up with it.
Yep.
Coped up. Did you do anything new during the lockdown? Did you learn something new?
Yeah, I loved landscapes and clicking people. So it was like कि अब बाहर तो जाना नहीं है, तो अब घर बैठे करना क्या है. There were like few photographers on Instagram who were clicking some of the creative shots, and I thought
What do you mean by creative shots?
creative shots are like doing something different that you have never even thought. And like it's like, so there was this guy who have been featured in our magazine in the first edition. उसने क्या किया, उसने एक स्ट्रिंग लिया, उस पर सब पेंसिल्स लगाए, अपना कलरफुल पेंसिल्स रहता है ना, वो लगाया, एंड उसके बाद उसको सर्कल में स्टिक करके सबको उसने एक, उसका शायद भाई था छोटा, उसको बुलाया एंड उसको उससे पकड़वाया हाथ में, एंड आँख के नियर द आईज. सो उसने वो वाला शॉट क्लिक किया, एंड दैट वाज समथिंग रियली डिफरेंट एंड क्रिएटिव फॉर मी. एंड आई थॉट मैं भी कुछ अपना दिमाग लगा के, कुछ खुराफाती दिमाग लगा के क्रिएटिव कर सकता हूँ. तो दैट्स व्हेन आई डिड वाज लाइक कि अब DSLR है तो उसका यूज़ करना है. तो घर पे बैठे मैंने फिर एक कप लिया, उसमें फेक ब्लैक टी बनाया.
Fake black tea.
यस,
पानी में
पानी में चाय डाला,
हाँ.
बट उसमें मैंने ऐसी चीज़ डाली कि लाइक इट वाज लाइक क्या बोलते हैं, मैंने उसमें थोड़ा कॉफ़ी भी मिक्स किया टू मेक इट अ लिटिल डार्क.
You mixed tea and coffee.
या जस्ट टू फेक इट.
काला कलर डाल देता फेक करना है तो.
काला वुड हैव मेड इट लाइक completely black, and black tea is not like completely black.
Black tea is black.
No, it's not. थोड़ा ब्राउन रहता है हल्का सा. तो मैंने वो फेक ब्लैक टी बनाया, एंड देन उसके बाद मैंने एक आइस क्यूब लिया, मैंने कैमरा को अराउंड लाइक 45 डिग्री एंगल पे थोड़ा रखा, एंड उसके बाद आई ड्रॉप्ड द आइस क्यूब इन द टी, एंड देन वो स्प्लैश हुआ वाटर का, एंड देन आई कैप्चर्ड दैट.
You could have made actual tea, iced tea, and you could have done that with.
Yeah, but
and you could have also drank it after you finished your shot. Reward.
But see, I didn't thought of that. That's a sob story for me. So it's like I did that, and then I also did a little bit of long exposure using the Diwali lights. अपना जो हम दिवाली में लाइट्स लगाते हैं, LED लाइट्स का वो स्ट्रिंग रहता है, फेरी लाइट्स विच यू कॉल, उसको यूज करके मैंने थोड़ा लॉन्ग एक्सपोजर किया यूजिंग माय बचपन का खिलौना, छोटे छोटे टॉयज एंड दोज स्टैटिक एलिमेंट्स.
हाँ.
उसको यूज करके मैंने लॉन्ग एक्सपोजर से कुछ अतरंगी चीजें किया. सो मैं अपनी सॉब स्टोरी कंटिन्यू करूँ उससे पहले आई वुड लाइक टू नो व्हाट डिड यू फाइंड क्रिएटिव, लाइक व्हाट क्रिएटिव शॉट्स डिड यू फाइंड during the lockdown?
I found a new photographer, and she is in my mutual friends circle. Okay, and she is very good at doing portraits, and she does that alongside Photoshop. She clicks very good pictures, and she also makes composites of it. So she captured a portrait of herself, and then she photoshopped Medusa, the Greek goddess.
Wow, that's great.
Not the goddess, but she was cursed, but yeah. So she photoshopped that, and that blew my mind. I mean, कैसे लोगों में इतना talent आता है? And then she has also done, she has mixed photography with illustrations now. She has
Okay.
done that side by side, and I think that was the most creative things I've seen during this lockdown.
Basically, digital art.
Yeah, basically digital art, but she also used real world elements into that.
Okay. So, did this thing somehow motivated you?
I mean that thing actually sparked the motivation back in me.
कि
I
like
think
मैं भी
so.
कुछ कर
Yes,
सकता
that
हूँ.
was one of the factors. Yeah, of course. So I started following her obviously, and then we started getting to know each other, and then I also got on Twitter. I was previously a user, but I have never got into photography Twitter at that point. So I started following brand ambassadors and then some people in the community, and that's when I found these like there is an entire shift that is happening from Instagram to Twitter right now. Like people are ditching Instagram and they are moving to Twitter. They're not ditching it, but still they are making Twitter as their primary place where they're putting out their photos, and that I found is being very nice
It's like Instagram is no more for them.
for them. Yeah, so I think Twitter
So they
is
shifted to Twitter.
yeah, it is becoming a better place for photographers as we speak. And in Twitter में अभी उन लोग ने recently एक update लाया where they are not cropping the photos anymore. So you can actually see if somebody puts a landscape photo or a portrait one, you can see it in the entirety like this. But before, what you had to do, you had to click the photo and then you had to flip your screen. Now you don't have to.
That's awesome. Basically, like Instagram में भी उतना नहीं है.
Instagram is like you already have like the
हाँ,
entire
वो
photo,
एक
right?
specific ratio देता है जिसमें
हाँ,
हमको
डालना
upload
पड़ता
करना है.
Yes.
That's it.
Twitter
But
पे नहीं है
Twitter ने
वैसे.
वो निकाल दिया.
Yes.
That's very cool.
Exactly.
Okay, so talking about cool, maybe actually during the lockdown, I got bored and like कि मैं भी demotivate हो चुका था कि अब मैं क्या creative करूँ. इससे ज़्यादा मैं क्या करूँ अभी घर पे बैठ के.
चाय बनाया हाँ.
I also shot a coffee, but it didn't made up to the uploads of Instagram, my posts, क्योंकि वो थोड़ा अच्छा नहीं लगा मुझे. Result
I mean,
was not-
I have a lot of shots like that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So वो हुआ and after that, again one day I was sitting on my window pane and I was thinking कि आगे क्या करना है.
Friends में जोई जैसे you are watching the raindrops come down. क्या करूँ आगे? Contemplating.
How do you know कि उस टाइम पे बारिश हो रही थी?
नहीं that's a scene उसमें he is sitting on a front fin and बारिश ऐसे हो रहा था उसमें and the camera goes out and it turns out it's just a decoration.
बट नहीं सच में उस दिन बारिश हो रही थी एक्चुअली जैसे अभी हो रही है बाहर. तो व्हाट आई डिड इज आई वाज गोइंग थ्रू डिफरेंट पोस्ट्स ऑन इंस्टाग्राम एंड आई सॉ कि देयर वाज दिस मैक्रो फोटोग्राफी.
Uh-huh.
I have never tried this genre. So somehow I found out कि YouTube में करके सर्च करके Google करके कि there is this thing कि DSLR के लेंस को फ्लिप करके opposite side में and just holding it in your hand you can easily click a macro shot.
Yes.
And I had a kit lens that was a zoom in zoom out lens 18-135 mm lens and उसमें मैंने मैक्रो फोटोग्राफी ट्राई किया. कैमरा लेंस को फ्लिप किया ऐसा अटैच करने के ऐसा रखा उसको एंड देन आई क्लिक्ड अ फोटो एंड कुछ नहीं हुआ.
कुछ नहीं. I also tried that and I found that there is a hack that you have to do, otherwise you will get it wrong. You can do one of two things. Either you can buy a ring that goes on top of your camera, on top of the lens यहाँ पे जहाँ पे filter लगता है, filter thread में डाल के, then you can flip it and then you can use it
like
on your
an
camera.
attachment something.
Yeah.
Ring मैंने भी सुना है वो एक रिंग टाइप अटैचमेंट जैसा.
हाँ. So you will mount के हिसाब से मिलता है. Yours is EFS, right? So EFS mount का यहाँ पे ring मिलता है, macro filter का ring मिलता है. You have to attach it in the front of the lens and then flip the lens and then put it in the camera directly. Otherwise, there's also another thing that you have to do before taking the lens out. If you have tried, taking the lens out while the camera is still on, you will see that the aperture ring actually shuts down very quickly. And you can't actually control the aperture once, the ring is out. क्योंकि
okay हाँ समझा.
majority of the camera lenses में aperture ring नहीं होता. Unless you are
You can't
actually...
control that thing.
Yes, exactly. Unless you are buying a Fuji lens.
So
What you have to do is, before you take the lens out, you have to click on auto exposure lock,
हाँ
which is the key on your camera, सामने. वो
Okay.
auto exposure should lock the back and then you have to take the lens out, and that's how you'll lock the aperture at that place, and that's how you'll get the uh, depth of field that you require.
But if I would like to change my aperture,
That is the trial and error thing that you'll have to incur if you don't want to buy a dedicated macro lens. I mean,
and macro lens are very expensive.
they are, yeah.
There is this company Skywick lenses. So वो macro lenses बनाते हैं काफी, like mobile chargers and mobile docks basically cars में, and macro lenses, wide angle lenses for mobile phones. So what I thought is I should try buying one of these and देखते क्या होता है. So I bought that. I actually bought a macro lens of 25 mm macro lens, and I used it on my mom's phone.
Why?
That time I didn't have this OnePlus 8T, which I am having currently. At that time I had OnePlus 3T जिसमें थोड़े shots grainy आते थे उस moment पे. So I used my mom's phone, that was OnePlus 6. I attached that macro lens and I was sitting again back on my window pane to click some photos. So तो मैं बैठा था, मैं सोचा क्या लूँ किसका लूँ. सबसे पहले I started clicking with those small leaves and texture of the stems starting में देखने के लिए, trial and error क्या करना है.
Static लोग पहले लेते हैं.
Then at that point I found Coco.
Oh, Coco, yeah, I know.
Yeah, you might have seen.
Yeah. I mean, wasn't it the cover? No, it was not the cover, but still, it was the big photo that we featured, the first one.
So Coco is basically a spider, and
Yeah.
so I found him on the one
Plant
of my
pot.
plants. He was just strolling.
He was doing his morning duties.
Yeah, he was just there, and then I thought of clicking his photo. And trust me, it's ridiculously hard.
I know.
मतलब तुम बैठे हो, तुमने कैमरा, तुम कितना भी कोशिश कर लो, तुम यू आर अ वेरी डेडिकेटेड पर्सन, यू हैव अ लॉट ऑफ पेशेंस एंड यू आर स्लोली मूविंग योर कैमरा टुवर्ड्स हिम, and then at one point of time he looks at you and then he runs away. But there was this one point of time, वो grill है जो हमारा window का, उस पे बैठा था, and at that point मैं कैसे तो छुप के एकदम ऐसा leaves के पीछे से somehow I managed, and ऐसा जैसे वो गिली सूट रहता है ना, अपन पबजी में खेलते थे, वैसा टाइप का फोन में ऐसा पीछे से लेके गया, एंड सिर्फ कैमरा लीव्स के एक एरिया था, ब्लैंक एरिया, वहाँ से सिर्फ कैमरा दिख रहा था उसका, मोबाइल फ़ोन का. तो वहाँ से ही वॉज स्टैंडिंग राइट देयर, एंड उस टाइम पे मैं एक्चुअली आई क्लिक्ड 4-5 शॉट्स, एंड देन आई स्विच टू वीडियो मोड, एंड दैट वॉज द मोस्ट ब्यूटिफुल टाइम. मैं लिटरली वीडियो मोड में शिफ्ट किया, आई स्टार्टेड रिकॉर्डिंग, एंड लिटरली वो बंदा जो स्पाइडर है, ही लुक्ड एट द कैमरा and he was doing something with his legs, and वो अपने teeth cling कर रहा था. I don't know what he was doing, but I felt
Probably getting ready to attack you.
I don't know that, but इतनू सा कीड़ा क्या ही कर सकता है अब. You never know, but
Yeah.
still.
मच्छर भी इतना सही होता है.
But I felt cute. उसको देख के बहुत क्यूट लगा, क्योंकि इतना छोटा सा स्पाइडर एंड इतने सारे बचपन में सुना था कि स्पाइडर हैज 8 eyes. Yeah, 6 eyes. But for the first time in my whole life, I saw that in real.
In one
and I
to
was
one,
very
yeah.
surprised. And then later on, I clicked like few photos of mustard seeds and a spider attacking a housefly.
Ooh, okay.
That was actually basically when it happened was when I was clicking a mustard seed ka shot. It happened like एक मक्खी थी, किचन में था मैं उस मोमेंट पे, किचन के जो विंडो है उस पर इट वॉज लाइक टप 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 आवाज आ रहा था उसका. इट वॉज लाइक फाइट ट्राइंग टू गेट रीड ऑफ दैट वेब्स ऑफ द स्पाइडर. तो
this is like a Disney movie. It was if it was made
like
for
story
adults.
एकदम ऐसा चल रहा है.
If it was made for adults, a dark Disney movie. Nice.
तो what happened is I saw that कि ये मक्खी फंसी हुई है जाल में स्पाइडर के, and the spider was right there. He was gonna attack that fly. तो I thought कि try करते हैं click करने का. तो I went close एंड दैट राइट मोमेंट, वो स्पाइडर सामने था. वो बोलते हैं ना ग्रिड अलाइनमेंट जो अपना कॉम्पोजिशन में है, ग्रिड 3 ग्रिड अलाइनमेंट, उसमें वो लोग परफेक्टली बैठे. एंड लाइक एट वन कॉर्नर फ्लाई वॉज देयर एंड एट द अदर कॉर्नर स्पाइडर वॉज देयर. So I shot that photo and it was pretty amazing, but grainy after all.
Yeah, grain
That's
is
okay,
fine.
but movement matter करता है, situation matter करता है कि क्या.
Did you post that photo?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did post few of the macro shots on my Instagram.
Okay.
So
How did it turn out? What was the response?
it was very good. So talking about macro photography, have you ever tried it?
I have tried it, but I don't think I want to do it.
Why?
No, because macro photos are like almost saturated. तूने बोला like you bought a Skywick lens. Go to their page. Go to their customer this thing
Reviews
experiences,
and
etc.
हाँ.
Look at their photos. You click the photo of a spider. You would see the exact replica of that photo in every other guy's profile.
You mean there is nothing new in it?
There is nothing new in macro. If everybody's clicking the same thing in the same way and everybody's getting the exact same picture, what is the point of doing it?
Talking about that, what I feel is आज जो Instagram पे चल रहा है, it's one and the same thing. It's similar to what you said कि हर कोई जो फोटोग्राफी कर रहा है वो यही चीज रिपीट कर रहा है बार बार. There's nothing new.
Exactly. To summarize it, I mean, I did not find it exciting. I did not find it exciting, or I did not find it, cathartic to be. So मेरे को लगा मैं क्यों इसमें डालूं पैसे. Also, that was a time when I had my old phone and it was gone,
Disgusting.
dead,
Yeah.
almost
Okay,
dead.
dead.
Yeah.
How?
I mean, I was about to replace it anyway, so that is when I bought my new phone. So मैं इसमें क्यों मैं invest करूँ? If I want to get a camera, I'll get an actual camera. Do you have any favorite photos that you took during the lockdown?
Yes, I do have. So it's like I am very bad at flat lays. I am very bad at food photography. These are the two genres like
You want to get into?
yeah.
Okay.
So I tried it. तो मैंने कैसे शुरुआत की? I started with clicking the basic dishes of my home. I started with poha
Okay.
and then I started with sambar.
Okay, I would like to
Yummy
see
yummy
that.
sambar.
Okay.
And there is this thing, famous dish in my religion, in Sindhis. It's called as sonta rice.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically a masala rice made of onions and garlics
Okay.
and some mustard seeds and potatoes.
Like fried rice?
Nah, it's not like fried rice. Oh,
खिला
but
खिला मेरे को कभी
ठीक
खिला.
है, हाँ, वो घर पे आना जरूर.
Do you remember in March when the lockdowns were eased a little bit and people were starting to go out? लोग गोवा जाने लगे थे. कोई लोग लोनावाला गए. हाँ. तो हम लोग याद है हम लोग दोनों यहाँ गए थे, पारसी के लिए गए थे घूमने के लिए ऐसे
Yes,
टाइम
I
पास के
remember
लिए.
that.
So my favorite shot was in the streets, स्टेशन के यहाँ पे जो था.
Finally, some outdoor photography.
Exactly. Finally, I got to go out. So the shot was very simple, but it was still very profound because the entire road was empty. The sun was setting down. It was like 5:30 time था.
I remember.
And इधर लेफ्ट साइड में there was like a construction area. यहाँ पे 2 buildings थे. बीच में ऐसे खाली प्लॉट था और उन लोग ने ब्लू कलर का वो डिवाइडर्स डाल के रखे थे.
Yeah.
और उसमें सिर्फ छोटे छोटे लाइन्स थे, तो वो सनलाइट उन लाइन्स के बीच में से आ रहा था. एंड ऐसे दिख रहा था कि रोड में ऐसे पार्किंग लाइन्स लगा है सनलाइट.
Okay, yeah,
वहाँ पे
yes.
हाँ. तो मैंने तेरे को बोला लेफ्ट में देख. तो you looked at the sun like you're some kind of contemplating genius, and then
You just randomly told me कि
I
तू left
randomly
में देख.
exactly लेफ्ट में थोड़ा सा ऊपर देख ऐसे बोला. And then
मैं बोला ये लेफ्ट में क्यों देखने बोल रहा है मुझे. फिर then later on you showed me the shot and I was like,
and the thing about that shot was people were saying, I put it out in my forum, in my Discord server that I was in, and people were like, wow. I did not think it like that. मेरे को नहीं पता था स्टार्टिंग में कि लोग उसको वाह बोलने वाले. I thought this was just a generic portrait from behind.
I would like to point out this thing कि sometimes what happens is कि the shot that you think is कि एकदम बकवास, like एक
It was
बिल्कुल
not a
काम
बकवास shot,
नहीं,
but
मतलब
yeah.
you तुम्हारे हिसाब से कि like इसमें इतना कुछ खास नहीं है, ऐसा normal shot है.
बरोबर.
But then when you upload it somewhere and then people react to it and people are like, oh, that's a crazy shot, wow. It's the same thing for me. कभी कभी क्या होता है कि I think कि ये shot बहुत normal है. Like मेरे लिए कभी कभी ऐसा लगता है कि कुछ ज़्यादा नहीं है इसमें, एकदम नॉर्मल सा शॉट है. बट व्हेन आई समटाइम्स अपलोड इट टू इंस्टाग्राम एंड देन पीपल समटाइम्स डीएम मी कि ये शॉट बहुत मस्त था. एंड एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम आई थिंक कि लाइक सच में मैं तो सोचता था कि ये शॉट बहुत नॉर्मल है, एकदम नॉर्मल सा शॉट है, कुछ नहीं है एकदम. बट देन पीपल, द वे पीपल रिएक्ट, इट्स वेरी डिफरेंट.
Yeah, exactly. So I think even I did not notice this thing that the entire picture, after a post editing, मैंने सिर्फ 5 मिनट डाला एडिटिंग करने के लिए उसमें. मैंने कुछ ज़्यादा कुछ किया नहीं उसमें.
मे बी शिफ्टिंग द सैचुरेशन एंड ऑल ऑफ
कुछ उतना भी कुछ नहीं किया मैंने. कुछ नहीं किया. I just imported it because it was a raw file. It was not a JPEG. So I
द
imported it.
नॉर्मल करेक्शंस एंड ऑल.
I mean, I did not even put a lot of effort into editing it because the shot was nice enough to begin with. मैंने सिर्फ उसको ऊपर से थोड़ा सा crop किया. It was almost square now, and I think I didn't do anything major to it. I just exported it because it was a raw file, and I put it out on my Discord server, and people were like, "Dude, I like that the entire shot is cold and the dude's face is warm." I did not see that in first. Because it was
The
literally
things that you don't notice.
exactly sunlight was literally hitting your face.
Huh.
So in the entire photo, your face was the only thing that's warm, and the entire photo is cold.
Yes.
And that
I saw that photo.
exactly. So that was my best. That was my favorite shot, I think. And I think another shot on the exact same day when we came back and we got out of the train, and then I randomly चलो अभी एक और लेते.
And I was saying कि यार यहाँ पे क्या लेने गए, अभी बस हो गया, अभी चलते हैं.
And the platform was खाली सा थोड़ा सा, and there was only like 2 people walking ahead.
COVID times.
Exactly. Good thing. इतना खाली कभी होता नहीं platform.
हाँ, बहुत जल्दी रहता है.
So I randomly took out, changed some settings, and I again portrait mode में डाल के इस बार मैंने पूरा ऐसे निकाला. तो a lady was going past and she was in her sari, and that was the only thing that came in frame. And बाकी का कुछ किसी का दिखा नहीं. Right में कोई नहीं, left में कोई नहीं, सब empty. The lady was the only thing in frame, and it was golden light basically. Her sari also was like very matching to that color. Sunlight उसमें गिर रहा था, and it was looking very nice. And I think that was my second favorite shot of the lockdown. And I think that are the only 2 shots that I ever put out, because I think those were the only shots that were as good for me to put out. Otherwise मेरे पास
बहुत सारे
50-60 GB के photos मेरे पास पड़े हुए.
So as we were talking about motivation, so do you think किसी YouTuber ने motivate किया या किसी some kind of fellow motivated you?
YouTube was the only thing that actually kept me going during the lockdown. अगर YouTube नहीं होता तो मैं photography नहीं करता. It's that simple. I started to watch mainstream very big people like Peter McKinnon, and there were a couple of others like Jared Pollan and people.
Have you ever watched Mango Street?
I will, of course. What I found was I was going through some of their videos, and then I randomly found very small YouTubers, and they were
doing literally something good.
Yeah, they also had very good content. So I randomly clicked on somebody else's photo, and that guy was using a Lumix camera, and he was a Lumix ambassador, and he's using a micro 4 hertz camera to click landscape photos. And I was like, why? And he had a video about it. मेरे पास जो भी सवाल थे उसके बारे में सारे सवाल उसके पास थे. And he was one of those people like saying, think about investing, think about your output and then invest. तुम लोग कैमरा लेके फिर घर में चुपचाप मत बैठो ऐसे वैसे वो बोल रहा था. Exactly. And there was this another guy who made a video called Gear Doesn't Matter, and that was very nice.
Actually it doesn't matter.
No, actually no. He made a video called Gear Does Matter. I remember this because gear doesn't matter, everybody says.
हाँ,
सब लोग बोलते हैं. But this guy actually he played the devil's advocate and he says जो भी gear doesn't matter बोलते हैं उन लोग सिनेमा कैमरा में क्यों शूट करते हैं अपना वीडियोस को.
That's a
सिनेमा
very good
कैमरा
question.
$1 लाख वाला माइक लेके. All of these combined and the community that I found, it actually helped me to build up the spirit again to do photography. So that's how I found my motivation.
Okay.
अभी अपने पास ना डिजिटल कैमराज है, अपने पास फोन में कैमराज है जो इतने अच्छे फोटोज खींचते हैं.
DSLR
है, DSLR is a new guitar, and still people are not motivated enough. We lost our motivations cumulatively. How do you think people who are using film cameras found motivation? Because shooting on film is a completely different beast. I think we should wrap up this episode right now. I mean, we have a lot of stuff to talk, but
जो कि हम एक दिन में नहीं
एक
कंप्लीट
दिन
कर
में नहीं
सकते.
खत्म कर सकते. So thank you all for listening to this episode. Take care of yourselves. Stay hydrated. We'll meet you very soon. My name is Anirudh.
And my name is Vinayak.
This is Beyond Pixels. You can check us out at phototalesmag.com, and we'll see you in a minute.